For cheap D2R items, visit aoeah.com. You get 3% off with the code ARIAD. Check the link in the description. Hello and welcome everybody. In this post we take a look at some really expensive jewels. I created some authentic max rolls in single player. Some of them would be worth dozens and dozens of Highrunes when found in Battle.net. As usual, there are some handy overview tables containing the most popular affixes, and we also go for a few price checks, so let's get started. First, let's look at magic jewels. In this list, the most popular and valuable affixes are arranged higher up. Among the prefixes, the single resistances are usually less in demand than All-Res or 40% enhanced damage, and among the suffixes, IAS or max damage are worth more than magic find or minus requirements. The suffix for attack speed is a so-called magic only affix, which means it only occurs on magic jewels, not on rares. Other affixes like ruby with up to 40% damage or scintillating with up to 15% all resistances are also magic only, but on rare jewels some affixes from the same category can appear, with some lower stats. However, some of the affixes occur the same on both magic and rare jewels, so the affixes from the rare list can all roll on blue jewels as well, but they are less in demand here. Now let's take a look at some examples. A 1540 IAS ED jewel is very popular. Almost all builds that do physical damage can make use of it. Especially Boazons need such jewels for their headgear, but also paladins, barbarians or melee druids use them. The value of a perfect roll, about 10 to 11 Jools. Also kinda famous, 4015 ED max jewels. They are often used in weapons because there you get the most benefit from the additional maximum damage. Such a 4015 costs about 3 Jool. Also very strong, 1515 IAS All-Res. Some builds like that especially for their headgear. The price here can be even more than 13 Jools. A little less common are jewels with minimum damage, like this 4010. You can get one of these for just one Hyrune. A combination of min and max damage can also be valuable, especially some low level roll. In the low level range, the extra damage makes even more difference. A double roll maximum damage is also used for weapons. A perfect 30 Jool costs 3 Jools. The LLD 30 variant has up to 24 max damage, the price here can be just as high. A low level variant with 20 ED and 15 max damage is also worth a few Highrunes. Since some people don't know this, you can get them very cheap sometimes. A little less valuable than IAS ED or IAS max jewels. You get them on average for 2 Jools. Quite unknown are jewels with attack speed and attack rating, but for a 15100 IAS AR jewel you can get up to 3 Jools. This jewel is socketed into an Andy's face very often, so the mercenary gets attack speed and the melee on fire resistance is compensated. Such a jewel is also worth about 2 Jool. All resist and magic find is interesting for some farming builds, but the perfect roll is only worth a bear. A jewel with 15 All-Res and minus 15% requirements is more worthy, 3 Jool on average. Now we will look at the really expensive treasures. If you see yellow jewels dropping, you should always be alerted. The chances are low, but here you could get some really strong and valuable rolls. Unlike other rare items, there is a special feature here. It rolls up to 4 different affixes, but they don't have to be 2 pre and suffixes each, it can also be 3 prefixes and 1 suffix, or vice versa. If all 4 mods roll properly, The Jool can be extremely valuable, especially when it has max rolls. Depending on the build, different combinations from the table are popular. LLD rolls are also valuable here, but usually a bit less than the absolute max rolls. An affix list showing the level requirements can be found in the description below. The order of value is not so easy to say here, because in the end, the combination of affixes is important to most builds, so there are some that are interesting for physical fighters, others more for casters. I'll just show you a few examples here. 30% enhanced damage, plus 9 strength, 9 dex and 9 max damage. Optionally, you could also exchange one of the last 3 affixes for faster hit recovery or all resists. The value of such a roll would be enormous, easily over 50 Highrunes. Also extremely rare is the combination of double roll min damage and double roll max damage. A perfect 1818 Jool should be worth over 50 Jar as well. I would also rate max rolls of combinations with ED that high. Various mixes with hit recovery and resistances are also worth a lot. I estimate the value to be around 30 to 40 Highrunes, or even more, depending on the specific roll. Another well-known number is the 79910 Jool with FHR, Strength, Dexterity and all res. Because of the wide applicability, I estimate it to be worth at least 50 Highrunes, probably more. A very powerful blink for physical builds, 30 ED, 60 AR, 9 Strength and 9 Dexterity. Which barbarian wouldn't like to have that one in his Storm Shield or Ariad? I estimate the value beyond 100 Highrunes. For slightly different but equally perfect rolls, a similar value can be assumed, so you could replace Strength or Dexterity by 10 all-res maybe, and the worth would be almost just as high. Especially for weapons, a roll with 30 ED, 60 AR and 18 maximum damage might be attractive too. I think such a Jool should be at least 50 Highrunes as well. Here you can see a few more examples that would be interesting for casters. These should also be quite expensive. I guess at least about 30 Jar. You can never say that exactly with perfect rolls until someone really gets one and some interested people make offers. Finally, you can have a look at some examples I found at the recent trades on Tradery. I say goodbye at this point, take care and may the loot be with you.
Follow me. Come on.